all night long for the customer. Because we have three main stages. We have aperitif time, so people are coming from 6 to 8, and then we have another change of tables, which is from 8 until 11, and then we have another change of customer as well. So that's why we work on this ratio. So now we will do something a little bit more digestive. And when we were thinking about something digestive, of course we were going to use whiskey. So in this case we're going to use a beautiful characteristic of gold label. And when we try to design recipes, sometimes we try to analyze spirits first. So when we were thinking, okay, we're going to use Johnny Gold label, we were analyzing the Johnny Walker, and we were saying, wow, it reminds us cinnamon, chocolate, honey, spicy. So instead of adding a lot of flavors, we just want to increase the flavor. So we were thinking, okay, let's try to work on something similar and on a chocolate digestive for customer, a little bit on the kick side. So we were thinking, okay, we must start by making our chocolate bitters. So by making our chocolate bitters, we were thinking we need to buy our chocolate beans. It's not very easy to find chocolate beans, so we went everywhere in London. The only place which we could find chocolate beans, they were on flower market. Because on the flower market they're using for a flower purpose, just for decoration. So what we did, we bought a lot of beans. Please do notice this beans is traveling since 10 days. So it won't be the best for Nigeria. But because it's traveling, so I'm roasting and roasting, it's get a little bit smaller, a little bit on brownish. I'm just gonna give you what we do back to Nigeria. So when we were buying cocoa beans, we were taking the beans out and we were making bitters out of it. You just roast them and then you make as you want. Usually when we make bitters, we always do bitters for a single drink. We try not to make house bitter that powerful, because house bitter should be suited for all the classic drinks. So when we were making some chocolate bitters, we were making them based on whiskey as well. But on the first few times, we were throwing them away. And we were thinking, wow, wastages is not great. We cannot do that. We dehydrate almost everything. We must be able to dehydrate them as well. So on the first few occasions, we just stick them on the dehydrator, and they became super small, very, very small. So we said, that is not right again. It cannot work like this. So we went to research how people dehydrate, and we found on the pastry chefs, they're using baking pearls. Have you seen it? Baking pearls? So usually they made of ceramic, or some chefs they're using beans. So basically they're just covering cakes with these beans or baking pastry, so that they will come flat. They won't come in with gills or holes. So we did the same. We empty up, we fill them up with baking pearls, we close them with foil paper, and we stick them to the dehydrator. As soon as they dry, the shape is perfect, we're just using it as a glass. As soon as we're using as a glass, we're using them for 2-3 times. As soon as it comes back, we're just washing with a bit of vinegar, and we stick back to the oven. Now we were thinking glass is great, but chocolate is very famous when it's cold, but a lot of time it's hot. It's a beautiful aroma. But I'm serving a cold drink, I'm not having much aroma. So behind a jar we have a little oven which we roast them for around 40 to 60 seconds, so we just release a bit of the aroma. And there's gonna be a nice mouth feeling for the customer, cold drink with a hot cocoa bean. Here we cannot do that because I don't have an oven, but I brought you some hot plate. So we're just gonna make a little piece. So the drink which we will use is gonna be based around the flavor of gold label. So we're gonna use some Benedictine to increase a bit of the spiciness and sugariness, and we were thinking to make some cocoa syrup. But again, not everybody likes chocolate. It's not easy to mix chocolate because a lot of people are allergic to chocolate. So that's we were struggling a little bit. So we find some type of chocolate flavor which is very suitable for babies, and it's called carob. I don't know if you heard carob. It looks like a big black broad bean, something like that. It's very famous in South Africa or maybe Asian as well. So instead of adding cocoa powder or chocolate powder, we're adding carob. That's how it's gonna be based our drink. Then we were thinking we might not gonna serve on the rocks, so we need to get inspired from a not on the rocks but on the rocks style drinks. So no ice. So we were thinking something like Bugarre, people they serving like without ice, or people they serving Sazerac without ice. So we must think the same. So we were thinking the service is great, but for Sazerac or Bugarre we have in some bitters like Peychaud, or we have Absinthe, which reminds a little bit Gentian, reminds a little bit of anise flavor. So we were thinking we must bring a new flavor to the customer. So we were thinking let's get some flavor from Mediterranean influence. And back to Greece, you have a type of gum. It's called mastica. So mastica is a type of flavor which comes from a tree from Chios. It's an island from Greek. It's a Greek island, and usually it's the resin out of the tree. So they're using this gum, which usually you can call as a honey tree, but it's chewy. So we cannot do this one in our smoking gun. So how we do, instead of smoking gun, we start to think we must have a hot plate to burn them. So we just leave them on hot plate, and before we serve, we just smoke the cup a little bit. The top of the cup will get hot as well. So even the customer, when he's gonna have this smoke plus hot temperature of the cup. Yeah. So I'm just gonna do one for you on the spot. Cosa digestivo che non dall'arso nasce. Just 2 tiny spoons. We just want to prepare the base. Back in a jar, we can add a little bit of theater again, so we can even leave some dry ice on top of the cup, so it's going to be a nice smoke. As soon as you add in dry ice, it's always good to add some even bitters or chocolate flavor, even the smoke will be flavor. So in this case, we're just going to add some carob, give extra color. Then we're going to smoke our glass on the spot. Again, sometimes we're using picks. Sometimes we have a lot of wooden picks. It costs a little bit of money for companies. So sometimes we try to avoid picks with some chocolate toppings. So it's gonna work as a glue. So we're just gonna add some toppings and adding a little garnish to make it a little bit cute. Again, that's it cannot be finished because it's always good because we're serving hot container with a cold drink, so we cannot just leave without any cooling agent. So what we did, we freeze chocolate. So by freezing chocolate, this is our -40 piece of ice, which will keep a little bit the temperature for a minute, minute and a half, and then slightly it will melt. Again, we can use some extra flavor we do want to give to the customer. So this is a pastry-based spray on marzipan flavor. So marzipan, it works very well with whiskey and liqueurs like this one. So as soon as I'm gonna paint the little chocolate bar, I'm gonna release inside. We will see the top of our drink is gonna get nice and cold, so it's extra garnish and smell for the customer. So that's how we serve our digestive drink. Enjoy.